Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and today I have for you my January 2018 book haul. I had 3 different book buying trips. One was online shopping through Barnes & Noble. I got gift cards for Christmas, so I used them up. I also visited my favorite used bookstore here in town. Because I got books, I decided to unhaul books. So naturally I had to stop by my favorite used bookstore where I traded them in, and while I was waiting to trade them in and see what credits I got, I picked up a book. And then this last weekend when I was in Portland with friends for the Walker Stalker Con, my friend and I went to Powell's Bookstore, which is a used and new bookstore. Pretty popular for the Portland area. They've got a couple different locations, and the one we went to is a whole city block, and it's 3 stories, multiple rooms. They've got a rare books room, so it was a pretty neat experience. I picked up a couple books from there. So I think I'm gonna start with my Barnes & Noble haul because that was the first break into the new year. Let's spend money on books. Yeah. So I got 9 books off of Barnes & Noble. 4 of them are the Dune series. So I got Dune, Destined for Dune, Shades of Dune, and Forever Dune. There's my dog. These books are written by Carrie Corp and Lori Langdon. I don't know a whole lot about them other than I've heard Sasha Alsberg over at A Book Utopia talk about them. And it's based in Scotland. That's pretty much all I need to know, I think, but please don't quote me on this, that there might be time travel. I'm gonna leave the Goodreads description down in the description box below, so if you're interested, you can pop on over to there and look at what they are, and that way I don't have to give a wrong synopsis. The next book I got from Barnes & Noble was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I've heard this raved about on BookTube quite a bit in the past couple of months. I'm really excited to read it. I'm not so excited to cry, but I know I'm probably going to. So I'm interested to see what the hype is about. And the next book I got was Beneath the Sugar Sky by Seanan McGuire. This is the 3rd book in the Wayward Children series, which I haven't read yet. I have the first 2 books. I believe I bought those in July with a gift card. I bought this one because it's a signed copy, and it was only $12. So I kind of had to snatch it up. I'm excited to have a signed copy. I'm excited to get into these, especially since there's 3 that I can just binge read all I want. Next 2 books I got are duology. I've heard about them a little bit. They just seem really intriguing to me, especially because music plays a big role in them. So I got The Savage Song and A Dark Duet. I've actually never read anything by Victoria or V.E. Schwab before. I do have the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy that I just haven't gotten into yet. So I'm kind of excited to jump into these 2 first and kind of get a feel about it, and I think the covers are beautiful, so I'm really excited to have these on my shelf. And the last book I got from Barnes & Noble is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. I actually bought the 2nd book before I bought the 1st book. I bought Hunting Prince Dracula at my local Barnes & Noble because it was signed. And then I was gonna buy this at the same time, but they only had the paperback copy and they only had the hardback copy signed of the 2nd one, so you know, books have to match. So I waited until getting gift cards before I bought this. So I'm excited to kind of delve into these stories. I think they'll be fun and probably a little spooky, so we'll see how it goes. Like I mentioned earlier, I did a book on haul in December. I decided that I needed more room on my bookshelves. I decided I wasn't going to hang on to books that I wasn't going to read anymore, that just didn't need to be on my shelves anymore. So I wanted to make room for books that I was interested in. For a while, I've been tossing around the idea of getting into Cassandra Clare books. I know Emma over at Emma Books loves Cassandra Clare. I also know that Sasha Alsberg over at A Book Utopia loves Cassandra Clare. I like fantasy. I haven't really jumped into a lot of urban fantasy, but books have always seemed kind of intriguing to me. I also know there's kind of a way that you're supposed to read them, because she's got multiple, like there's the Mortal Instruments, there's the Infernal Devices, and then there's the other ones that I don't really know a whole lot about. So I know that you can kind of read either the series by themselves, or you can read the series kind of mixed in. That's kind of the way I think I want to read them. I wanted to buy the box set with the really pretty spines that make the bridge and have all the characters and stuff. But it's kind of expensive to jump into for a series I don't know if I'm going to like. So I found a copy of City of Bones at my used bookstore. I think this is a really pretty cover too. I think it's the movie or the TV show cover. Movie. There's movie pictures inside. This was like $3. It was a pretty good way to jump into the series, scope it out whether I like it or not, before taking the plunge into actually buying all the books, because that's probably what I'll end up doing. So I'm excited to read this. I'm not sure when I'll get to it, but I hope it will be sometime this year. These books are kind of big, but they're also fairly big print. So yeah, I'm excited to see where the journey goes with them. The last 4 books I bought at Powell's Bookstore. They gave me some free bookmarks, and for whatever reason I got 4. I think he just grabbed off a stack, and that's how many I got. So I guess I have one for each new book. This is what they all look like. They're big bookmarks, so I don't really, I mean, I'll use them, but I don't really like big bookmarks because they don't fit all books. But whatever, that's just a peeve. So I had a copy of the BFG, but it wasn't my copy of the BFG. It was my brother's, and I believe last year I gave it back to him. I've just been kind of waiting and looking for a copy, usually at my used bookstore, but I found one at Powell's, and it's a Penguin Teens, or Penguin Children's, it's a Penguin classic, which is the same type that my Matilda and James and the Giant Peach are, so I'm happy it matches. It's not the same cover from what I was used to reading as a kid, but you know what? I can get over that. So I'm excited to have this beloved book on my shelf, and I'm really excited to introduce it to my son probably pretty soon. He'll be 7, so yeah, I think we can read this really soon. So like I said, I'm really excited to have this. It's one of my favorite books. It's one of the books that got me into reading. Just have fond memories of it, so I'm really happy to have it. The other books I got are because I'm interested in reading the Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom series. But I've heard that to be introduced into the Grishaverse, you should start out with the Shadow and Bone series. So I found some really, really pretty covers of that trilogy by Leigh Bardugo at Powell's. So I got Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising. I was really happy to find these covers. I'm excited to get into this verse. I think most people end up liking the Six of Crows better than these books, but I don't know. I'll find out for myself what I think. So that's it. That is my January haul. I'm filming this just over halfway through the month, so if I film it now, that means I will stop myself from buying more books this month, right? I'm not sure it works that way, but that is what I'm going with. This haul, I have 14 books, and I think that is plenty. So I'd be interested to hear what books you have hauled for the month of January. Maybe what books you got or bought in January with some gift cards from Christmas or from Boxing Day, or you know, whatever holiday you celebrate. So I'd be interested in hearing about what kind of books you have at the beginning of this year, and what books you're super interested in reading for this year. So if you feel so inclined, please leave some comments down below, and I will chat with you there until my next video. Bye.